last Friday, due to the announcement of the new year of Tehreek-e-Jadid, I did not mention with regards to my recent tour of the United States of America and Guatemala. Alhamdulillah, with the grace of the Almighty Allah, there has been a deep impression both by non-Ahmadis and Ahmadis, also from the point of view of the administration and also the organization of the Jamaat. Many things I come to know as a result of this visit and interacting with these groups. One major benefit is that the educated and influential people come into contact as a result of this visit through personal meetings and also at the occasion of the inauguration of mosques and the receptions. So that is the first benefit. Secondly, through the media, the introduction of Islam is enabled and the true teachings can be disseminated through the media. And the third major benefit is by meeting the individual members of the Ahmadiyya Muslim community and having a personal connection with them, it enables this introduction as a result. This increases their faith, devotion, and also attachment. Their brotherhood and mutual love also strengthens as a result. As a result of a direct connection between the Khalifa of the time and the people, by the people listening, seeing, and watching him directly, this brings about extraordinary changes in people and also brings out many emotions. Further, based on the local circumstances, I am able to address them in my sermons on these local circumstances. During this trip of the United States of America, with the grace of the Almighty Allah, 3 mosques were inaugurated. May Allah the Almighty always enable for these mosques to be full and replete with worshippers. And may He enhance the devotion and sincerity of the members of the Ahmadiyya Muslim community. Youth, elders, men and women, wherever I was, in Houston, but first in Philadelphia, then in Washington, spent a larger part of their time in the atmosphere of the mosque. Even now, the parents and the relatives of the children write to me that as a result of your visit, it had a deep impression upon the children, because they would say to us, "Come to the let us go to the mosque." They would express this deeper sense of attachment as a result. Then, by coming to the mosque and spending most of their time at the mosque, they would benefit from the atmosphere. This time in the United States of America, there were many Pakistanis who had come on asylum and immigrated to the United States, having traversed through very difficult circumstances, sometimes having to pass through Sri Lanka, Thailand, Nepal. They finally arrived in the United States. Sometimes in the mulaqats, the private meetings with me, they would get very emotional. Some would get extremely emotional and express their sentiments having met me. May Allah make it so that where they are granted greater ease and more affluence by arriving in the United States, there at the same time, may this realization always remain in their mind that they must give precedence to their faith over worldly matters at all times. They must not drown in materialism and purely worldly pursuits. Now I will mention some other details with relation to my tour. Generally speaking, the politicians of the United States, educated people, influential people, and also general people, they are those who acknowledge something which is said that is good and appreciate it. The true teachings of Islam have not been conveyed to them. Those to whom it has been conveyed and who have an attachment with the Ahmadiyya Muslim community have a positive impression of Islam as a result. So therefore, it is our duty and responsibility that we convey the true message of Islam in the United States of America and the rest of the world. We must do so with endeavor, and we must do so in the right way. Where the true message of Islam opened the eyes of non-Muslims to its reality, where they saw its beauty, its excellent and peaceful teachings, and this was expounded upon them, there on the other side it also influenced the Muslims, that is the non-Ahmadi Muslims. They come to know what true Islam is as well. Therefore, there is no need to fall into an inferiority complex. This happened in America as well, that non-Ahmadi Muslims, when they hear about the true teachings of Islam from us, they gain further confidence and reassurance, and they come to realize that we do not need to feel inferior in any way or come into an inferiority complex. Rather, they come to realize that it is Islam alone that has the solutions for the world. Islam has the keys to peace for the world. Further, that it is the teachings of Islam that guide towards the betterment for the society and its solutions. Many guests have expressed exactly this who attended our functions. They said the way that you presented the true teachings of Islam is the reality and is the right way. Non-Ahmadi Muslims hearing our message were astonished, and they also expressed their comments. They said, if this is the true teachings of Islam, then certainly this will be successful. I will also present some impressions of some of the guests. Masjid Baitul Afiyat, or the Baitul Afiyat Mosque, was inaugurated in Philadelphia. Dwight Ewens, who is a member of the U.S. Congress, he said in very positive remarks, I am welcoming you to this major city. This city is called the city of brotherly love. I would like to say to the Muslim community that your message of Islam is welcomed here. There are certain opinions of Islam that have formed in the minds of Americans in the previous years, he says. He says that, however, the majority here welcome you. We are with you. We stand against enmity and all such things, and terrorism as well. Then, expressing further remarks, he says, you gave a brilliant message with respect to establishing peace. We are passing through a period of darkness in the United States, and in this context, this message is shining. This shows that this message is not only vital for America, but for all of the world. In future, we need hope and we need peace. In terms of Philadelphia, this is very important, this mosque and this message. In Philadelphia, it is famous for having a declaration for religious freedom. And so he says, in this context, your mosque will prove to be a splendid hallmark in the city. So these were his sentiments. The mayor was also present there. There were also other leaders. The mayor echoed similar sentiments. We learn from the history of Philadelphia that religious freedom is the foundational principle of this city. This city was made and built upon this principle. Whatever race or creed we are from, this city will welcome all. We should work with one another with respect. We should tell the world that we can work together in unison. We can eradicate all our problems and we can solve the problems of our children. This is that teaching, which in truth is the teaching of Islam, which others are adopted, but Muslims are forsaking. Harry Shorts was a judge who also attended this program, who said the following: I have known the Ahmadiyya Muslim community for 25 years. I have discussed with the local president on many issues over this course of time. Hazur says, then after my address, he said, this message is of love, of harmony, and which rests in the heart. If one understands this message, then I believe the situation of all will be bettered. There is an African American new Muslim who says the following: there was a dire need for a mosque in this area. This has become a really good center. It is said that 10 years it takes for the society to be bettered, whereas I saw it to bettered in 2 years here. This shows that if there is an effort and a concerted effort and we work in unison, then this can be achieved in a quicker time period. After the address, he said, this is an astonishing message. Everything that was said pierced through my heart. So this person is not an Ahmadi, but he is a new Muslim. Then an African American lady said the following: I learned a great deal from the address. I hope that this becomes a part and we adopt it in our lives. If we act upon the teachings, then surely we will be on Siratul Mustaqim, on the right path. So this lady is also not an Ahmadi. Another lady, Hania, said the following: the message that you have given, it is through this that the misconceptions about Islam can be removed. I am so delighted that there is a center for Muslims here. There is much prejudice against Islam, which is of course extremely erroneous. However, your message was robust. I hope that this message spreads to the maximum extent, and the people of America come to know of the truth and the reality of Islam. A local councillor also attended in the reception, who said the following, that is at the reception for the inauguration of the mosque. Your message of peace was so crucial, especially in the current state of affairs, and as a result this message has even greater importance. It was a great honor for me to come here. I have seen this mosque constructed before my very eyes. It is a great blessing for this mosque to have been built in this local area. The message that you have given, that you will stand shoulder to shoulder with the neighbors, I believe that not only here in Philadelphia, but all of the United States needs this message. A female Palestinian Muslim guest also attended, and she said, your message was very important. I am from a small village in Palestine. The true teachings which I learnt in my childhood, I have seen the demonstration of in your address. This is the true Islam which has been conveyed by you. Whatever sect we may hail from, it behoves us and it is our responsibility to work towards peace. Then she says that you have represented all Muslim communities truthfully. Hazur says this is the way of thinking of a righteous person, but may other Muslims also come to realize that it is the Ahmadiyya Muslim community that is really representing Islam. A female teacher said the following, your message of peace was incredible and splendid. Although I am a Catholic, I agree with every single word that you uttered. I say truly that Islam gives a message of peace. Islam teaches to serve humanity. There was a professor who was representing the president of his university. He said, you express pious sentiments for the people of this city. One thing I have noticed in you, that you do not only speak about the current state of affairs, rather you also look to the future times and the times to come. Then he has also expressed in very positive sentiments and appreciated the address. He says, you have planted a seed here, but now it is our task to harvest this, to allow it to grow and flourish and to strengthen this message of brotherhood. A lady, mentioning her feelings, said the following, you said that we will wipe away your tears. How many people are there who will wipe away your tears? This was an astonishing message. I could not overcome my emotions. It is not necessary to convey your message to give a very loud address. Rather, you addressed us in a very loving fashion. I had said in my address that to serve the poor we are always ready, and if anyone is in pain or suffering, we would be those who would wipe away their tears. A non-Ahmadi Muslim Imam also took part in this program. He said the following, I knew about the Ahmadis before through the translation of the Holy Quran. This is the translation of Hadhrat Maulvi Sher Ali Sahab, may Allah be pleased with him. He said, your message here was really good. I agree with you 100%. This is our very mission and purpose. We are all the progeny of Adam. We should try to improve the standard of living of all others. We need to spread the real message of the Holy Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. May this not just be his mere words, but may he also actually implement this. Then the mosque in Baltimore was also inaugurated, which was called the Baitul Samad Mosque. This was a church building which was purchased. It was renovated and converted into a mosque. By coincidence, the building has been constructed in such a direction that 99.99% it is towards the Qibla. So therefore we did not need to make changes in this regard. It is facing towards Makkah. Because I did not mention the details at the time in the United States, I should mention them here. This was bought for $2 million. There are separate halls for men and women where 400 worshippers can worship. There are also offices, libraries, classrooms, a commercial kitchen, dining halls and so on. It is situated along the highway, and approximately every single day 45,000 cars pass through this motorway. The Baltimore mayor also attended the reception, and she said the following: "You spoke with reference to peace. This is that message which is the need of the time today, not only in our city, but also in our state, and in fact, in all of the United States, rather, in all of the world, this message is required. I believe that everyone should hear this message. If we hear this message, we will come to know that the sole way of solving the problems of the world is peace." A university professor from Baltimore, expressing their sentiments, said, "Where we have mutual problems, there we also have many mutual commonalities." This was an amazing message which has the potential to bring about a crucial change in the society. We must work with one another. We must show respect to one another. In the atmosphere of the United States, this message is absolutely essential. We must work not only for our own selves, but also for our children. We must get out in the society and do so. This incredible message left a deep impact upon my heart. Then the representative of the District 48, a state representative, said, "I was very impressed hearing this message, in particular in an environment where, with reference to Muslims, fear is spread relating to them. And there is racial differences here in this country. Based on this, I was so happy that you reminded us of our responsibilities. You told us to love everyone, do not hate anyone. These are the words which we are in need of. Baltimore needs to adopt this message of love and peace." Her husband says, "My wife said that this message is a very important one. However much we strive to improve the society with our words, that did not have as much effect as the words of the Imam of the Ahmadiyya Muslim community by him coming here. The Ahmadiyya community, not only here but in the entire United States, is proving to have an excellent influence." A priest who attended said the following: "I was agreeing with your every word hearing your address. Because I have been to the Ahmadiyya Mosque on many occasions in Baltimore, I can say convincingly that whatever you said, I am seeing take place in other mosques, that is disorder. This mosque is open for the entire community. I have attended this mosque many times for the Friday prayer. I can testify to the practical demonstration of everything you have said. I was delighted to come here and meet people from different religions and different backgrounds, and they're all speaking on peace. This is exactly that message which not only our city, but the entire world stands in need of." A female guest expressing her sentiments said, "In today's circumstances, today's message was very important. Between Muslims and non-Muslims, black and white, there are deep gulfs. We need to search for the problems to remove these gaps, and this is only possible through this mutual respect. This message you gave with respect to neighbors and to being treating your neighbors well. This was an amazing message. Hearing this message, I have developed a newfound interest to learn more about Islam, and I thank you greatly. There was a representative of state of the 41st district, Bilal Aziz, who is a Muslim, who said, "Your message is resonating amongst all our members. Love and peace and harmony was your message, which was very important. The reservations against Islam will be greatly aided to be removed as a result of this. You have told us the solution to many contemporary issues, especially here. Many political statements by politicians are being made to incite people's feelings against Muslims. You have come here with reference to these matters, have guided us in a really good way. In today's environment, you gave a message replete with wisdom. No intelligent person can reject this message. I have learned a very simple way of establishing peace in society, which is to start from your home. Show kindness to your neighbors. You do not need to change the entire world. Just spread love amongst your own circle. Help them. And this will enable for the entire society to become peaceful. You also told us another simple formula, whereas you says that preach the truth. The true way of spreading the truth is your own personal example, which you must demonstrate, is what you said. Then he says, the Ahmadiyya Muslim community has come into the field to solve the problems in Baltimore, and to have a positive impression has put down its determination. This is an effort to be appreciated. May Allah the Almighty enable for the Ahmadis there to show their example. There is a lady called Michelle from Presbyterian Church, who said the following: "It was an excellent message. Mutual harmony and brotherhood was emphasized. You drew our attention towards spreading love instead of hate. This is an important message. You also told us about the objectives of the mosque. That was something I appreciated. You also mentioned about treating the neighbors well. These were all new things today. I learnt that the love of Christianity given in Christianity are the same things, whereas the media are presenting something completely the opposite with regards to Islam." A historian, Dr. Fatima, said, "My specialization in the United States is on Islam, and in this reference I have done a lot of work on the history of Islam in the United States. I am not a religious scholar, but I am a scholar of history. In this reference, when you said that Hadhrat Mirza Ghulam Ahmad in this era has revived Islam, my attention is towards that. And now I am going to increase my scope of research in this regard. I have come to know that now the center of my research will not only be Hadhrat Mirza Ghulam Ahmad, but also his writings and also his statements, through which he revived the faith. Your message was an astonishing one. You did not say that only the teachings of Islam for peace are relating to other religious people, but also for people who do not follow any religion. He said it is your perspective that irrespective of race or creed, we should all work together for the people of the world." What a brilliant message! As Muslims, we are seen with doubts and suspicions. So therefore, it is an excellent way to spread the teachings of Islam as a Muslim. Then the mosque in Virginia was inaugurated. It is called the Masroor Mosque. This was inaugurated on the 3rd of November. This also used to be a church building which has been purchased. It is 6 acres and it was purchased for $5 million. It was renovated and converted and then made more into a mosque. This was also already facing towards the Qibla, more or less. There are separate halls for men and women where 650 people can worship. There are 11 rooms in addition which can be used as offices. There is a library, a conference room, a commercial kitchen as well. Here, a potential Republican state runner said, "The address I heard was replete with wisdom. The United States and the entire world need to carefully ponder on the message of love for all, hatred for none, and need to act upon it, in particular in light of the dangerous situation in the world. They need to spread this message of religious freedom. Therefore, this mosque is something which I am proud of, because you do a lot for the country." There is a state candidate for Virginia who said the following: "I heard your address. I will read it as well further, and I will learn from the internet more details about you. And to learn about Islam, I desire to come to your mosque again." A Christian guest said, "Your message was exactly in line with the current circumstances. It was greatly needed. It was a message of peace. I was astounded and I was appreciative." Then from the 51st district there was a delegate who she said it was an amazing message, particularly in light of the current state of affairs. Your message was one of love, was one of unity. You said that consider everyone to be your brother, help them indiscriminately. This is the message we need in today's political climate. To give the needs of others above yours is a great message. To help our neighbors and to put the comforts of others above your own comforts is definitely a splendid message. Normally in such circumstances we put our ego before the comfort of others. Another guest, Alex, said, "I was deeply moved and I was very emotional because I am a Holocaust survivor. So this message was deeply impressive to me. Every single word of yours penetrated into my soul. And your message was one that was deeply wise, because you said, we cannot literally fight hatred, and there is only one way to do that, which is to establish love in its place. Hatred can only be removed through love." There are so many examples of love in our society, just like the program here today. However, what we see in the media is just a minority and are people who are misguided. The media promote them hugely. Rather, instead of this, we should spread mutual harmony. So he met me later and he was very emotional. First he was emotional and then he started weeping. He said that I was deeply emotional hearing this message. A lady who is a surgical coordinator from New Jersey said that today I came to know of the beautiful teachings of Islam. It is also my point of view that it is just a handful of people who commit wrongful acts, who stain the entire religion. But it is wrong to do so. It is wrong to consider the whole religion as bad as a result of the actions of a handful. It is wrong to hold the whole religion to account. Another guest who has been working in the department of the police for the last 40 years said, "This is a message for the entire world. With respect to love and the rights of one another, necessary advice was given. Here there are over 400,000 people of different backgrounds, but the most important message you gave today was with respect to neighbors." A lady, Dr. Kimberly, who is a criminologist and is also a journalist. She has a PhD. She said today there was a deep message with respect to love and peace. Irrespective of race or creed, everyone has to come around this message. In today's message, you have presented a true reflection and demonstration of this. And this will create a society of peace and love. So while expressing her sentiments, she was emotional and started weeping. Today, the people who are demonstrating barbarity and in the name of religion are spreading disorder in communities have no link with religion whatsoever. It is important and crucial that everyone understands this. Lorraine is another lady who expressed her feelings. She said that I have lived in this area for 30 years. I have seen all the situations and local state of affairs and also shootings. On such occasions, recent shootings, on such occasions, the message of love and peace and brotherhood was an excellent one. I am delighted that I have been invited here. I have come here and have learned a great deal about the Ahmadiyya Muslim community. The local mosque that has been built here is an excellent addition to the society. I do not fear it at all. I have come here to this mosque, and I have been welcomed here in this mosque. This is the need of our society. I wish to say that whenever you have programs in the future, then apart from Muslims, also invite people of other religions. She is a Muslim. In addition to the inauguration of these mosques, as most of you will know, in Guatemala there was a hospital of Humanity First that has been opened. That was inaugurated. There were people from a political background, for example, a member of parliament who has also come twice to the Jalsa Salana UK. She came to welcome me at the airport. She also expressed many positive remarks. She thanked the Ahmadiyya Muslim community that we are opening a hospital here and that we are trying to spread love and unity and brotherhood. Robert Canasab, who is the Vice Minister of Education from Paraguay, said after attending the opening of the hospital that it was an excellent event. I am quite surprised that this is a community who have constructed this hospital and have done all of this to serve the needy. This is a demonstration of practical love for these people. He said that if humanity follows this very path, then peace can be established. It was an excellent opportunity and experience for me to learn about Islamic culture from close hand. I had many questions about the Ahmadiyya community, the answers of which I have learnt from here. For a few years, the Ahmadiyya community in Paraguay has been established, and I have been invited by them. So he had come from Paraguay to the opening. This was the Vice Minister of Guatemala previously. There was a Guatemalan doctor, Diana, that in this address, the message to help the needy, I also want to act upon this. Gratitude be to God that religion teaches to serve the poor. The Khalifa said this in his speech. There is a Guatemalan journalist who said, "The thing which moved me the most was that there is no compulsion in religion. In fact, people should help one another, so we should help one another, and it is this message which was given to us by the Imam of the Ahmadiyya Muslim community, that we all possess equal rights. Everyone should have a proper standard of living." Then there was a journalist of a local newspaper who says, "This address had a very positive impact upon me. The meeting was also very good, and I would say that not only is the hospital project a really good one, but rather other ones as well." Then there is a bank officer who says, "The essence of your address was to have sympathy towards the creation of God. Here you have opened the Nasser Hospital. This is a prominent demonstration and example and reflection of this." Then there is a manager who said, "It was a very excellent and simple to understand message. It has been given on behalf of the entire Muslim community that serving humanity is our responsibility." It was very interesting to hear that I have been influenced by this message of the Ahmadiyya Muslim community. Now I will learn further details. In Guatemala, the Spanish edition of the Review of Religions was inaugurated. A new edition has been started. In Latin America and Central America and so on, there are approximately 400 million population who speak Spanish. In Spain and in Guatemala, David said that you have a lot of attention towards Spain when attention was given to this. David is one of the pioneer Ahmadis in Guatemala. He said that Spain only has a population of 40 million, whereas we have a population of 400 million, and there is not attention towards her. After this, there was a proper program. Missionaries have given, there's more attention of missionaries to go there, and Jamia students as well. And now with the grace of the Almighty Allah, Jamaats are being established in Latin America now. In any case, now the Spanish Review of Religions has been inaugurated. These were the impressions of the non-Muslims or non-Ahmadis. But in the neighboring countries of Guatemala, there were also Ahmadis who came and attended, either at the opening of the hospital or for mulaqats with me at the mosque. They were also expressing great emotions. They met the Khalifa of the time for the first time. The love for the Khalifa you could see resonating from their hearts and from their eyes. A new convert Mexican says the following. She had converted just a few years ago. That after my visit to Guatemala, there is something which has now reassured in my heart that where I have decided to join, I should be. I am very spiritually at peace now. After meeting Ahmadis from other countries, my faith was reinvigorated. Most of all, to say the prayers behind the Khalifa of the time re-enhanced my faith, and my belief in true Islam has strengthened even more. I wish to stay on this path. May Allah make it so. Then a new convert of Mexico, Ivan Francisco, said, we did the bet, the Pledge of Allegiance, at the hands of the Khalifa. Hazur says there was an occasion of the bet in the mosque, and he says that this was a time which cannot be expressed in words. I felt at the time as if my entire body has heated up and I am sweating. I felt like a current had rushed through my body, and it has taken me to a spiritual destination. May thousands of gratitude be on Allah the Almighty that He has granted us this blessing of Khilafat. I know that this is my first step towards betterment and that this will bring about a transformation within me. A new convert from Mexico says the following. There is no borders in Islam Ahmadiyyat which can separate us. There are no lines. We are all brothers. The only differences are in languages. Otherwise we are all united. We may have been 10, 15 different countries saying the prayers behind the Khalifa of the time, yet we were one, saying behind the prayers behind one Khalifa. Another guest said, I am from the Mexico City Jamaat. When I came to know of the opportunity to go to Guatemala, I was so excited, and I came to know that I will meet the Khalifa of the time. I was even happier when I met the Khalifa. I was delighted, and I had an opportunity to sit with him for a long period of time. Some time ago, I did the bet, the Pledge of Allegiance, in Mexico City, but to say the bet on the hands of the Khalifa is something, an experience which I cannot describe. Whilst wiping away my tears, I said this was the best day of my life. A new convert lady from Honduras says the following. This was the first time I had left my country, and I had to take part in a very long journey. From Honduras to Guatemala, it took us 16 hours. We had to face different situations. However, as soon as we saw the mosque and the Khalifa of the time, all the difficulties of this long, arduous journey all disintegrated. An Ahmadi lady who had come from the United States said to me, I am like her daughter. The best part of this tour was the mulaqat, the meeting with the Khalifa of the time. I did not say anything personally, but I felt as if I am in a different world altogether. I wished to just stay there forever, to listen to him and see him. This was an experience that was indescribable. During this trip, I came to learn a lot more about the teachings of the Ahmadiyya Muslim community. I also had the opportunity to sing a nazm or a poem there. Then Adam Omondo Sahib from Honduras the best thing of this trip was the mulaqat, was the meeting on the blessing of meeting His Holiness Hazur. I received the answers to many questions that were asked. A new convert from Ecuador says, through the meeting of the Khalifa of the time, I had such sentiments of happiness and tranquility, and I felt peace during the beds, the pledge of allegiance. When you put your hand on my hand, it was such a blessing which I have never ever received in my life before. Another lady member from Ecuador who became an Ahmadi 1 year ago says the following. The trip to Guatemala for me and my son was extremely happy, something to make us happy with. When I saw the Khalifa of the time for the first time, it was a special moment for us. It developed within us sentiments of love and harmony. During the mulaqat, during the meeting with Hazur, we were so happy. We consider this to be a great blessing. The return to Ecuador will be such a sad time for us because we would be remembering the Khalifa of the time and our Ahmadi brothers. May we be able to meet again. Then a new convert of Guatemala, Suleiman, says, for the Khalifa of the time to come to Guatemala is a moment of great happiness for us. It is a great blessing of our community for us that you have come here. We have come to know, when we came to know that you are coming to Guatemala, we were delighted beyond words. Now a new-found spirituality has developed within me. There is no doubt that a great transformation has come within. A new convert of Guatemala says the following. I express thanks to Allah the Almighty that the Khalifa of the time came to Guatemala. It is a matter of such pride for me. It was an incredible experience for me. My heart is replete with happiness and joy. Then another person of Guatemala said that I am from Kabun Jamaat. I was spiritually deeply motivated by the Khalifa coming here. I am so happy that I got to spend time with the Khalifa. He has only been an Ahmadi for a short while, but he said to me with deep emotions that in my area is very remote and far off, and there are no proper roads to reach there. He said, please pray that the people of my area also become Ahmadi Muslims. He said that the grace of Allah that I have received may it reach my people. He said this to me with such deep emotions, and he requested prayers. May Allah the Almighty enable for Jamals to spread there as well. Then another lady from Guatemala said she had only seen the Khalifa of the time in pictures before, but now she says I am able to see him in person. She said, I feel a great change within me. Another lady said, I am so happy and I feel myself so fortunate that Allah the Almighty bestowed His blessings upon me. I do not have the words to express my feelings at this moment in time. She requested prayers to be increased in sincerity and devotion. Then from Chiapas, Mexico, Khadija says the following. I give gratitude to Allah that I had the opportunity to meet the Khalifa. He answered our questions. My love towards Islam has advanced, and I did the bet with a new found spirit. I request prayers for me and for the entire Jamaat of Chiapas. Yasmin Goman says, it was an incredible memory. It was a brilliant experience. My feelings were such that through happiness I started crying. I cannot express my feelings. after the meeting with Hazur, I will have an opportunity to better myself. Then there is another lady who says the following: my feelings are penetrating my heart. It was an immense experience. May Allah the Almighty increase my sincerity and devotion. A new convert of Mexico says the following: it is a great blessing to have an attachment with the Jamaat. I am so fortunate and blessed that Allah answered my prayers. I was in darkness, but God brought me and my family into light. Allah the Almighty enabled me to transform my life. Then he says we asked some questions and he said that I received satisfactory answers. Layla Latif, she says that first I only saw Hazur on TV, but now seeing him in person there are different sentiments. From Panama there is a lady. In fact, it is a male guest who came with his wife and son. He says that the mulaqat was one of the best days of my life, which cannot be described properly in words. He says that my faith and love and sincerity increased. There was a delegation that came from Belize. So there is a lady who says, Martina Saiba, this was a truly blessed opportunity. I was overwhelmed with emotions. These are memories that I will always reminisce. Another female member from Belize said, it was a very emotional meeting. I have also been invited to come to the UK Jalsa by the Khalifa of the time, which delights me greatly. Another female member, Fiorentina, said, it was such a happy occasion to meet the Khalifa of the time, which gave me peace. A young girl said, who is around 14 years old, first, I was afraid that I would say something before the Khalifa that would make me to be embarrassed, but the mulaqat was so good, the meeting was so good. So the kids also sang the Hadhrat Qibla Numa poem. There are similarly many other lady members from other countries and Guatemala who expressed their sentiments. Some of them partook in arduous and long journeys and expressed sentiments of great sincerity. May Allah the Almighty go on increasing all of these people in sincerity and devotion and enable them to become and to be true Ahmadis. The media team USA, with the grace of the Almighty Allah, the US media team did some good work and established some good connections. Now there have been some changes, but even the previous team did some good work. 2.8 million people were conveyed the message through TV, through radio programs, on digital forums and websites and social media. Around 2 million people were conveyed the message through newspapers. The news reports with regards to my tours. 45 articles were published. The well-known newspapers include the Baltimore Sun, Philadelphia Inquirer, and Religion News Service, as well as Houston Chronicle. Through these means, they believe that it reached more than 10 million people. In Guatemala as well, the media coverage was good. The Guatemala's national newspaper, which is published in 100,000 and reaches millions of people online, they not only published the picture of the hospital but also the inauguration. Another national newspaper, the columnist wrote with reference to Nasr Hospital, an article. Then another national newspaper also reported, and also national TV Guatemala. The national TV Guatemala they published a report with reference to myself and also the opening of the hospital. They broadcast this. On national radio channel as well, there was a report broadcast. According to one estimate, in different Latin America's print media, newspaper, television, etc., it reached approximately 32 million, the message of Islam. Then there is social media, Twitter, Instagram and YouTube. Approximately through 23 million it reached. That's 2.3 million. 2.3 million. So this tour was blessed in every respect. May Allah the Almighty enable for these results to go on even increasing in the future. After the Friday prayers, I will lead a funeral prayer in absentia. Savadogo Ismail Sahiba, who is a Sahiba of Burkina Faso, who 14th November after the Fajr prayer he had left, and then he had a heart attack and he passed away in the hospital. Inna lillahi wa inna ilaihi raji'un. Surely to Allah we belong and to Him we shall return. He was born in 1964. He accepted Ahmadiyya and he always wished to be near the mission house. When our mission house was transferred, then he also purchased a house on rent near there. He always wished to come to the mosque. He was at the forefront of waking up people for tahajjud during the jalsa, and he would also say the azan out loud. People used to give him a nickname as a result. Every year he would sit itikaf in the mosque. He would be attending the mosque regularly and would make other people to do so as well. He would wake people up and he would say the azan and he would help clean the mosque. When the attack happened in the Lahore mosque and he heard about the martyrdoms there, it had a deep impression upon him and he used to cry. He would keep on expressing that I wish that I was part of that. He would be at the forefront of Jamaat work. When I went on my tour there in 2004, he was always in security duty. Once during an occasion, he was giving a duty when I was giving a speech. He fell unconscious and fell down. Perhaps he had not eaten or perhaps for standing up for so long. He would always write letters with this regard, and he would say that I am that person who is very sincere and devoted to your Khilafat. I am a security guard. At the time of his burial, one of the commanding officers representing the local mayor also gave very positive remarks in front of everyone that Ismail was a very sincere and devoted and loyal person. He used to express very solid opinions with the grace of the Almighty Allah. He was a Massih. He leaves behind from his first wife a son and daughter, whereas from his second wife he leaves behind a very young child. May Allah the Almighty grant him forgiveness and mercy and elevate his status and give protection to his children left behind.